Hi everyone, and happy International Women's Day. To celebrate this day, I'm going to be painting this completely badass woman from history, KHUTULUN, the Mongolian warrior princess. Now, I had no idea this amazing warrior even existed. I think we know by now that there are many important things that we are not taught in school. At least in Australian and English schools, we are mainly taught about the accomplishments of white men, with the exception of a couple of queens like Queen Elizabeth. But the truth in history is that there are so many women who are completely badass and completed a lot in their lifetime, a lot more in some cases than the men were told about it. So in the 13th century, when Khans ruled Central Asia, women were well versed in badassery. In a society where skill on a horse and with a bow and arrow was more important than brute strength, Mongol women made just as stout herders and warriors as their men. One woman, however, had the combination of both skill and might. Her name was KHUTULUN, and she was not only a devastating cavalry woman, but one of the greatest wrestlers the Mongols had ever seen. Born around 1260 to what is now Western Mongolia and China, she helped her father rebel, repeatedly, the invading hordes commanded by the mighty Kublai Khan, who also happened to be her great uncle. Her favourite tactic was to seize an enemy soldier and ride off with him. The explorer Marco Polo recounted as deftly as a hawk pounced on a bird. Off the battlefield and in the wrestling ring, she was similarly undefeated. She declared that she wouldn't marry any man who couldn't beat her in the wrestling match, and those who lost would give her their prize horses. Needless to say, she had a lot of horses. It is said that the number was around 10,000. Which is completely insane that around 10,000 men that this woman has wrestled with and consistently beaten. I just keep imagining a huge line of men going in all confident, thinking that they are so much better than this woman, and that there's no way they'll lose, and completely coming out with their ego shattered. Of course, this isn't what happened, but it is so fun to think about. So, by the time she was in her 20s, and a spinster by Mongol standards, her parents pleaded with her to throw a match with one particularly eligible bachelor. According to Polo, she initially agreed, but once in the ring found herself unable to break the habit of a lifetime and surrender. She overpowered her suitor, who, humiliated, fled, which is honestly, I find so hilarious. This man shows up to wrestle this woman that he wants to marry. She then completely destroys him, and his ego was hurt, so he ran away. She eventually, however, did choose a husband from among her father's men, and married him without submitting him to the eventual impossible challenge of out-wrestling her. All in all, she is a pretty badass historical figure. And I definitely would have loved to hear about her in history class rather than Henry VIII or whatever. Here are a few other women in history who are amazing fighters. Boudica, the original Braveheart. She led her tribe of British Celts in a bloody and ultimately doomed rebellion against their Roman occupiers. Tomo Gozen, one of Japan's few known female warriors, who fought in the 12th century. She was described as a peerless swordswoman, horsewoman and archer, with a taste for beheading her enemies. And Maria Bochkevera, a Russian peasant who fought in World War I. She formed the terrifyingly named Women's Battalion of Death and won several honours, only to be executed by the Bolsheviks in 1920. Anyway, that is all I have for you today. I hope you had an amazing International Women's Day. and I will see you in the next one.